Takes to the sky like a bird in flight, and who will be her lover? All your life you've never seen a woman taken by the wind. Would you stay if she promised you heaven? Will you ever win?
Okay, so I think we're good to go for this video. My dog is actually here. Maybe you can see her. Say hi. Say hi to people. No? But anyways, it's kind of convenient that she's here because today I'm going to be talking about dogs. Specifically, traveling with a dog, rodeoing with a dog, horse showing with a dog, road tripping, whatever. This was requested for me to talk about. So I have made a few bullet points that I'm going to kind of follow along the way. So if you see me looking down at all, I'm just looking at my little bullet points. So of course, I feel like horse people are kind of almost always also dog people. And so if you ride horses, you might also own a dog. And for people like me, my dog is my best friend, I take care of her every day. When I'm going away, I need to take my dog with me. So it's not really even an option. It's just, a must. And so I have learned some tips and tricks along the way that help make it an easy and enjoyable experience for not only my dog, but also me and everybody else around us. So I'm going to start at the beginning. So when you're packing for your dog, obviously you're going to have to bring your dog food, enough to last the duration of your time away. I always like to bring at least a couple cups more, just in case. And then also dog bowls. Make sure that you don't only bring your dog's food bowl, but also the water bowl. And then a leash, definitely a leash is something that you're going to need no matter where you go. Doggy bags, of course, if you're going somewhere where you have to clean up after your dog. This I would bring even if you're going to a place you don't have to clean up after your dog, because you might make stops along the way where you're going to have to clean up after your dog. And then anything personal that your dog might need. So take into consideration if you are using a special type of food. For instance, if you're using raw food for your dog instead of kibble. I have done raw food before my dog, with my dog, and I probably did it for about 6 months to a year. And so when we were going anywhere, it made it super difficult because you have to bring, your dog's own cooler and their individual, and you have to thaw them out, and then it's a mess to give them to them. So keep in mind, if you are doing raw, bring your dog's own cooler. Don't put it in with your own food. Make sure you bring lots of ice if it needs to stay frozen, so that it doesn't get thawed out too early and rotten. And then also bring wet wipes if you're using raw, or just feed them outside. But I would say bring wet wipes because you can clean off the bowl after without having to take it to a hose or a sink. And so that's definitely something to consider if you feed your dog raw. But anything that your dog has that's personal, if your dog uses its own dog bed, bring that. Make it feel comfortable. If your dog has a blanket that it likes, bring that. Or if it has a little toy that it likes to sleep with, bring that. Make it as comfortable as possible, because a lot of dogs get a lot of anxiety from leaving home and going on a trip. So preparing to leave. So again, make sure that you get to know your dog, and any issues that you think might have, address it before you leave. So if your dog isn't comfortable in a car, bring its bed and put it in the car, either on the seat or on the ground. If your dog, okay, so my dog always used to puke in the car, and this was a big issue because we went on a lot of long drives. So I would think, what am I supposed to do? Well, I ended up giving her children's Gravol. I would just give her a treat, then when she has her mouth open, push the Gravol down, and then give her another treat so that she'll swallow. And it was super easy to do, and then she slept literally the whole drive and didn't throw up. So if your dog gets an upset stomach, often consider giving them child's Gravol, because I only had to give it to her for about a year anytime we were on a long drive, and now instinctively, when she gets into a car, instead of throwing up, she just goes to sleep right away, and it's a breeze, and she's totally used to it now. So I think that really helps her. But if your dog also has anxiety, I have a friend whose dog is very anxious, has horrible anxiety problems. Well, she got this anxiety jacket for her dog. I think it's called like the Thunder Jacket. So definitely look that up if your dog is very anxious. I know it doesn't work for every dog, but there have been good reviews of it. So I know that that's a little tip if your dog gets anxious while driving. I would also recommend bring your water bowl in the vehicle with you, and anytime you stop, give them water. So have a bowl in the car with you, and then also have treats in the car. If your dog doesn't necessarily love driving, keep treats in the car. Okay, so while you're on the road, you've left and you're on the road. One little hack is, instead of just stopping at a gas station and using the washroom there, get your gas and then stop at a nearby rest stop to go to the washroom, so that then you can bring your dog out, let them go to the bathroom on grass, give them water while you're there, and then also play a little game of fetch with them for 5 minutes. Let them get some energy out, because dogs naturally are moving around all day. They're not supposed to be in a car all day, and they might get a little bit disoriented from driving for hours at a time. So play a little game, give them a treat when they get back into the car, things like that, just so that they really feel it as a comfortable, positive experience. And, get them to do some tricks. So also, while you're driving, consider listening to something other than really loud music, because I know a lot of dogs get disturbed by really loud music. So I like to listen to podcasts, so it's just quiet talking while we're driving. That way I don't have to worry about my dog's ears, and I just personally like listening to podcasts better anyways. But I just thought I would add that in there, because I know dogs don't always love loud music. So once you get to your destination, so once you're there, you're setting everything up, make sure that you set your dog up a bowl of water right away, because you don't want your dog to get dehydrated, especially if it's in the summer. So make sure that you set it up, and then they know where it is, and then don't move the water. Just keep it there the whole time so that the dog can drink as often as they need to. So I personally, if there's a lot of people around where I am, if it's a rodeo or something like that, I always keep my dog on a leash. There might be like little times where I'll let her run around without a leash just for a couple minutes while I'm with her, but other than that, I keep her on a leash pretty much the majority of the time. If I am, however, camping somewhere where there's not other people, I basically never have her on a leash at all. So it really just depends on the situation. I also recommend, if your dog does run away often, or get distracted, or wants to go chase people or other animals, buy a long tether with something you can screw into the ground, and these really do work. One thing I just say is make sure that it's out of the way of things it can knock over, because if your dog does wrap this around something and knock it over, that would not be fun. And I also would recommend that if you are going to tie your dog up, don't leave them for long periods of time, only leave them for a couple minutes at a time. But if you are going to be leaving to, say, go and make a run at a rodeo, and you are going to leave them tied up, I would really recommend getting a wire that's like covered in plastic to tie them to, or one of those, or a chain, because one time I did have my dog bite through her leash, and right as I was coming back from riding in the rodeo, my dog ran towards me, and so thankfully she had only escaped right before I got back, and she didn't try to go anywhere other than right to me, but it could have been much worse. So I would definitely recommend make sure that it's something your dog can't chew through, because even if they've never done it before, this was a one-time thing, she had never bit a leash before, make sure they cannot bite through it or break it at all. So try to keep your dog on a fairly consistent schedule. So as soon as you wake up at a certain time, feed your dog, play with them for like an amount of time, and then keep them on a regular bathroom schedule and eating schedule. Obviously keep water available at all times, but other than that, keep them on a schedule even when you're away that is very consistent, because dogs do well on a schedule, on a routine, and even when you're away it can be a little more stressful for a dog, and so it just gives them that much extra comfort if they're still on a schedule where they can rely on something happening next and being able to play. And definitely bring toys, because it can be very boring. You know, you might think that going away for a rodeo is super fun, but your dog might not think that if you're ignoring them the whole time and it's just boring and you're locking them in the living quarters or something. So now getting into, well, you are riding, I know I kind of talked about this a little bit. Try to get somebody else to hold your dog. I don't like leaving animals alone, unattended, well, for, you know, an amount of time. If you have to, then obviously you have to, but if I have a friend, I will just get them to hold the dog. So that's obviously the number one way to do it. If you cannot, then again, tie your dog with a wire tether or something metal that they can't chew through, or keep the dog in an enclosed area. So I have kept my dog in the back of the horse trailer before, just for short periods of time, or in the living quarters. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about is dogs and hotels. So lately I have actually stayed in quite a few hotels with my dog. Definitely call beforehand to make sure that they have pet rooms. Most hotels do, but you never know. I would say as soon as you get in there, take pictures of any damage that is already in the room, because like I said, usually they have designated pet rooms, and so you are not the first person who has had a pet in that room. So take pictures if you see a pee stain on the carpet, if you see somewhere that a dog has chewed or scratched. Take pictures of everything, and if there is damage, go and show it to the desk before your stay, like as soon as you get there, so that your dog doesn't get blamed and you don't get charged. Make sure that your dog is not being loud and does not go to the bathroom. I would only bring my dog to a hotel if they were very well potty trained, because again, there may already be pee stains on the ground, and for some dogs, if they smell that, they will pee on top of it. And so luckily my dog is very well house trained. She would never go to the bathroom even if there was already pee or anything in there. She would just hold it. But make sure that your dog is very well potty trained and that they do not bark. If you do hear dogs already barking, this just happened to me a little while ago. I was, I guess, in the whole pet area of the hotel, and there was a dog screaming and howling the whole time, and my poor dog was just listening, like kind of whining, because she was like, oh, what is wrong? And so I made sure that I went down and told the front desk that I was not complaining, because I didn't mind it, I wasn't bothered, but that there was a dog being very loud and that it was not my dog, so that you do not get blamed, because I think being kicked out of a hotel would probably be the worst thing, because then you're kind of just stranded. So I think I kind of covered a lot. Also, I know a lot of people, when they're looking for a puppy, want to get like a specific, you know, rodeo dog, but any dog can be a rodeo dog. I know I've seen any type of dog. I've seen Dobermans, I've seen Chihuahuas, I've seen Bichon Frise, you know, I've seen like any type of dog being a rodeo dog or a barrel race dog. So no matter what dog you have, they are welcome at a rodeo or barrel race. Actually, make sure that you read the rules before you bring your dog, because some rodeo grounds don't like your dog in certain areas, so definitely obey those signs. But other than that, I honestly think that that's pretty much it for this video. So here's my little star, who's taught me so much about dog ownership, because she's the only dog I've ever owned, and I've had her since I was 15 or 14. I've had her whole life. So thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you like to see more, and comment if there's anything that you would like me to make a video of. So thank you for watching.